Welcome to Roadtrip WDW. I'm your host, Rebecca Schlau. Welcome to the real episode 22, and I'm going to be continuing my Disney World trip review from December. And you heard it first. I messed up on the title of the last episode. I don't know, iTunes numbers these things a little off from our actual episode, so I got a little confused. So today is actually episode 22, not whatever I said last week. So I'm going to continue my trip review and go over details from what we did the remainder of our trip. Now, the last time that I'd come on here, we had wrapped up my first actual park day, and the next day I believe was going to be Sunday. So this is over Thanksgiving weekend. So Thanksgiving was Thursday. Now we're on Sunday. So we already know that the parks are still going to be kind of crowded. So we had already known that we'd love to just go to the water parks. My kids adore the water parks. I keep telling people this, but they want to go to the water parks just as much as they actually want to go to the regular amusement parks, or if not more, to the water parks. I'm serious. They could do that every day, and that'd be a vacation. And since we really don't go to water parks when we're at home, going to a water park on vacation is special to them. Now, as I mentioned before, there's only going to be one water park open during the winter months, and the other one they kind of renovate or make, they update it or they refurbish it. And I learned that even though one is supposed to be open, they don't always open the water park if the temperature gets too low. And I didn't know that. I thought it just stayed open no matter what because, it's heated. But it makes a lot of sense. And truthfully, no one's going to go on a 40 degree day to the water park. Because even if the water is heated, even if it's heated enough, like the minute you would get out, you'd freeze yourself and walk into your towels and stuff. That'd be, ooh. Anyway, so we happened to go on this just a lovely day. For me, it kind of felt like a late spring day. It got up maybe to the, upper 70s, low 80s. It wasn't hot by any means. But the water temperature at Typhoon Lagoon where we went was perfect. So right when you got in, it actually felt a little warm. And that's how I like it. I'm one of those weird people that I love it in the summer when swimming pools kind of get warm. It feels kind of like a bathtub. So the water there felt like just a gentle warmth. It wasn't like too hot. And when you got out of it, though, the temperature was just right where you got a little chilly getting out of the water, if that makes sense. So this day was just beautiful. The weather was so nice, and there was nobody there. And we got there later. We didn't get there at rope drop. We didn't even try. But the park, when I say there's nobody, no, there were people, but there wasn't any fighting for seats. There wasn't any fighting for good seats. There was hardly anybody there by my standards. We didn't have to wait in line. I can't remember. I think there was some slides we did have to wait like two people. Like we were two people behind the people that were leaving. So it was amazing to just walk on water rides. And, the water parks are like your old-timey traditional amusement parks. There's no fast passes to it. And that's kind of what I like about water parks, too, is that you just have to go with the flow, get in line if you want to ride it, and wait in line if, however long it is, if it's worth it to you. So I love that about this. I didn't have to plan too much. But it was great. We rode pretty much everything we wanted to ride. And I also like water parks because you kind of have to walk a lot. You have to go upstairs. The kids play. They swim a lot. It wears them out. So it was great. I love Typhoon Lagoon because they have a great toddler section or kitty section. I shouldn't say toddler. They have a great kitty section. Now, there's some little bitty kitty slides and some kitty raft rides, and it is adorable putting your little toddlers on. It's completely safe. It's not deep enough to hurt them. I mean, most time if if you have a toddler, he's probably wearing a puddle jumper like mine. But they have little inner tubes, and of course, they have lifeguards watching the whole time. My 8-year-old could not go on the little kitty raft ride. She was too tall, but my 6-year-old and my 2-year-old could. And every time they go on it, it is just adorable. It's just a little rapids raft ride, kind of, but it's very gentle, go slow. And I like that about this ride. You can take your phone, like your camera, right up and watch them the whole time on it. There's some little stepping stones that you can watch them the entire time. They're always visible. You may have to walk along the route of the slide, but you could watch them the whole time. So even if you were by yourself, let's say you're a parent and it was just you and you wanted to watch your kid, you could, potentially just let them, you could get in there, the little start of the pool, help your little baby get on the raft, and there's going to be a lifeguard there, and then you could walk down the steps, kind of still have them visible, keep walking, and then you could collect them. So it's totally doable with just one parent supervising, which is very convenient for us. There's also some sandy areas. There's some little shady areas where the kids can play in water and sand just right there. It's great. We always make the little, I think it's called Catch a Kitty Creek, or maybe that's the other one in Blizzard Beach. I can't remember. Whatever it's called, Typhoon. I don't know. I cannot remember what it's called. But whatever it's called, we usually set up shop there. That's where we bring all of our stuff. Our stroller, we do bring our stroller in there because walking in and out it's kind of a walk, and we don't want to hold our son that long. Plus, it gives us a place to store all our belongings and keep them well hidden. I do usually bring my phone in. I mean, please don't go steal my stuff. But I do usually bring my phone in because I want to take pictures, and I like having a place where I can like bundle it up and shove it really, deep down in that stroller. But a lot of times I'm taking it with me. Actually, this summer I had a little pocket pouch that I actually carried my phone with me, so that's really nice to do. But it was good to have just a place for the diaper bag and where we could eat. The food at Typhoon Lagoon is surprisingly good. I'm actually pretty impressed with the food at the water parks in general. Let me go over the quick service place we go. That's kind of the fast food place. And it's called the Leaning Palms. And before I get into the menu, let me just tell you, it's called Leaning Palms, and the restaurant in itself, if you look at the building, it's adorable. It is like the restaurant's leaning. And if you know anything about the theme of Typhoon Lagoon, it's a typhoon has come through and, swept over this township, and it's all this, this resort has been kind of transformed into, not a shipwrecked town, but all of the elements look like a storm has, blown through. So some of the trees are leaning and the buildings are leaning. So there's things, shipwrecked up on the shore. It's really cute. So anyway, the Leaning Palms Resort. The entrees included, let me just tell you what I have to go through. The Cuban burger, chicken breast nuggets, a jerk chicken Cobb salad, a tropical salad with chicken, a chicken wrap, a jerk chicken rice bowl, an island crunch chicken sandwich, chili rice bowl, adobo pork rice bowl. Of course, they have pepperoni and cheese pizza. They have an Italian deli sandwich. They have a hot dog. They have, various sides and things like that. And for kids' meals, they have a turkey sandwich, Uncrustable. They have a chicken wrap. They have chicken breast nuggets and a pork or a chicken rice bowl. And now all of these sort of entrees will range anywhere between, $9 to $14, which really isn't bad for Disney. My husband and I usually share, so we usually get, we usually get one or two things, and for a family of 5, we usually get 3 things. and then we share it all. So I think this time we ended up with the adobo pork rice bowl. It was good. We like anything that reminds us of Cuban food. It always has plantains with it. So it's this adobo pork rice bowl. It's served with roasted corn, peppers, pineapple salsa, sweet plantains, and rice with pigeon peas. We also got the Island Crunch chicken sandwich, and that had the breaded chicken with pickled vegetables, chipotle ranch dressing, pickles, and shredded lettuce on a brioche bun with your choice of apple slices, french fries, or tortilla chips. And I think we ended up getting maybe like for the kids, I can't exactly remember, maybe a cheese pizza or something like that for them, or maybe even a chicken wrap. But everything we've had there has been really good, so we really enjoyed it. And of course, before we left, we had to go get the famous mini donuts that are only offered at the water parks. The cinnamon and sugar mini donuts are my favorite, and they are so good. If you are thinking about getting half a dozen, and there's more than one of you, think again. If there's at least 2 or more, splurge to get the dozen. I mean, at least. I mean, we go through, by the time I'm done, I usually only get like 2 of them. Everyone else eats them before I get there. But they are so good. They're hot and fresh and so warm. So good. So anyway, it was a great day at Typhoon Lagoon. It really was just great. We didn't wake up early to get there. We stayed, I can't remember how long we stayed there. 3 to 4 hours, which was all we really needed to feel like we've accomplished a lot. We're kind of worn out. We rode everything that we wanted to ride. We rode that family raft ride. We rode it, I think, twice. There's those little, I don't know. I remember riding them at Schlitterbaum. There's a few coaster water slides where you have to be in a raft and it shoots you up, and it's kind of cool. So now some of those will have height restrictions, and so my younger kids couldn't go on those, but all of my kids could go on the family raft ride. As long as you can hold on to the raft, you can go on it. So that meant my son Noel, he couldn't go on it. This may have been his first time on it, actually, now that I think about it. No, he went on this summer. Shoot, I can't remember. Anyway, when he was a baby, he couldn't go on it, but this time he could, and it's fine. I'm one of those weird people that even with water rides, though, if there's too many ups and downs or windiness, or I'm backwards, like if I'm on one of those big old raft rides and I'm actually having to ride backwards, like down hills, I do tend to get motion sick. I don't know. I should take Dramamine every time I walk out of the house, it seems like. So we headed out. Before I leave the park, per se, I will say that we love that huge wave that Typhoon Lagoon has. They have this huge wave that will just knock you on your rear. It'll knock you on your rear if you're not expecting it. It can be kind of dangerous, really, if you get, I don't know, if you're with let's say you're with your toddler, and you get in the wave pool, and you're about maybe waist deep. You and your toddler y'all are going to go flying, and you're going to scrape the bottom when that big wave knocks you off your rear. And if you want to hold on to your kid, keep in mind that means another part of your body will be scraping the bottom of the pool as it throws you back. There is no way to avoid the force of that huge wave in the wave pool when you're at a shallow level. Now, when you are in the deep end of this section, I actually feel like that doesn't even whip you back as much. Like if I get up too deep, I barely feel the wave and it just goes right over me. But when I'm kind of in the shallow part, that's where like injuries happen. And that's when it gets a little dangerous. Now, my daughter, she doesn't get too deep, but she probably gets around 4 feet and she loves it. I'll get about that, and that's about 4 to 5 feet, maybe 5 feet deep for me. That's where I want to be. I do not want to do this this wave pool again with a toddler and a 6-year-old who don't want to go in the deep section, because unless you stay like just right at your feet, right at like ankle level, you risk being knocked over, like for real. It's a pretty strong wave. It's fun. It's so fun, but I did get scraped up. And part of that, and the other part is like, when you're in that wave, it's so forceful. It will rip that baby right from your hand. So just be careful. Make sure everyone's wearing puddle jumpers and be safe. And just, you're going to lose your goggles or glasses. Anything you got on your head's gonna fall. So keep a hold of those in your hand. There is a little slide in that section. Like, there's a little kiddie slide that only kids can go on. Adults cannot. I tried. And that's kind of cool because it's in the wave pool. So you can, for me, I could kind of keep an eye on my 8-year-old. She didn't get to get in the deep end. She had to stay where I could see her and stay, like, whereas, she couldn't swim out where she couldn't touch. But I could keep an eye on her. And also, she was visible. Plus, I could have my little baby slide down the slide, which was great. So, getting on out of the park, then it was nap time. So we get back to the boardwalk and we drove. If I have a car on property, I don't typically take Disney transportation. So we of course drove to Typhoon Lagoon. So we drove back while my husband put baby Noel, the 2-year-old, to bed. The girls, for some weird reason, just wanted to run out on one of the courtyard areas and look around because, again, the boardwalk is just so beautiful. And then it was time for my daughters to take a nap. So everyone needed a nap except Mommy. So that included all 3 kids plus husband. They all need naps. If they don't get naps, all of them get cranky, and I mean all of them, even the adult. So Mommy, since we were so close to Hollywood Studios, Mommy decided to go ahead and walk on because I'd already booked in advance. I'd booked some fast passes and some things to do at Hollywood Studios. And so I have not been to Hollywood Studios since Galaxy's Edge opened. So one of the things I wanted to do, I just kind of wanted to enjoy the sights a little bit more than normal. This podcast has helped give me an excuse to do that my husband is okay with. I mean, honestly, he'd be okay anyway. He'd have no choice because I just walk and go enjoy my time while he's napping anyway. But now I can use the excuse that I'm gathering information and data and pictures for the podcast, and he really likes that. So I went to a park without the family, and I went to Hollywood Studios. Like I said, we have a few things planned. I noticed that the decor at Hollywood Studios is amazing at Christmas. It is so Christmassy there, and it's not just, I don't know, and it's not modern Christmassy. That's what I love. It is old-fashioned Christmassy. So we're talking, it has, images of Santa and Rudolph back from like the 50s. It has very, what I would call like decorations, my grandma had. Some of the old-timey stuff. And it was just beautiful, like old-fashioned, the Santa. They had some just little, I don't want to say decals. On the lamppost, they had different pictures and wreaths and garland just strung up everywhere. Everything was very cute, and again, Hollywood Studios is built upon like the heydays of Hollywood, back in the, I don't know, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s Hollywood days. So, I mean, it would make sense that the Christmas decor do have some, a little more old-fashioned-y type, which is so great. And so this was going into Galaxy's Edge was so cool. I mean, I don't know. It was amazing. I do encourage you to, I don't know which entrance. There's 2 entrances into Galaxy's Edge. You can go in through Toy Story, or you can go in Toy Story Land, or you can go in around Muppet Land. Whatever you want to call it. And I chose to go in to the left towards the Muppet Land. So I passed Star Tours on the left, and going in this way, I got to see Baseline Tap House to the right, which was really cool, right by the Muppet Place. I'd actually never seen it. I don't really Muppets aren't my favorite, so I haven't really gone in that area for a while. So anyway, when you walk it through to Galaxy's Edge, the entrance is very grand because the entrance is basically, it feels like a cave, like you're walking in a cave. And the detail, luckily without my children, I didn't have to worry about just getting through the cave and moving on. I was able to walk really slow. I was trying to be mindful of everyone walking behind me, of course. I was walking slow and enjoying all the detail work that went into making the cave. You can see little indentions and rooting and all sorts of like cave stuff, details, that Disney had to add in. And so it was just fantastic. So just look around, guys. Just look around when you walk in. I mean, it looks like this cave is really old and it's been blasted through. Maybe there's been a fight or two in there. And then when you go into Galaxy's Edge, it really does feel different than the other part of the parks. You're no longer in the old Hollywood style amusement park. You are now in a different land, and it feels that way, which is great. I love it when it gives you a sense that you're somewhere else, and you do. When you're in Galaxy's Edge, you feel, I don't know, you feel like you're in Star Wars land. It's great, and it is bigger. Everyone always says this. It's bigger than I expected. It is bigger than I expected, but it's broken up too. Like there's all these little alcoves and little pockets of activity here and there. So it's really neat. And all the stuff looks old and blasted with guns. I mean, they've done such a good work on all the details there that it's just incredible. You never know when you're going to see characters walk by. They'll have the stormtroopers just randomly, go through, and that sometimes they'll stop and talk to someone, kind of, quiz them on who their allegiance lies to. It's so cool. I mean, and they look and sound just like stormtroopers should. The Millennium Falcon was a sight to be seen. The TIE Fighter out there, the X-Wing. Oh, y'all, I'm a Star Wars nerd. So I'm not going to say I teared up when I walked in Galaxy's Edge. But I will say I was deeply, deeply moved. And it just felt like, the kid in me it was really cool. It was really cool. I'm smiling right now because I'm thinking about it. So again, this was a lovely evening. And I think this is where the weather in Disney World in general started to turn. I noticed it was getting cooler. And, the evenings had been kind of cool, but we were used to being there in 80-degree weather. And this is, I think, when the weather started to actually start getting chilly this night, which was great, y'all. I love that. I wanted to feel what would feel like to be cold in Disney World. So this was the last warm day at Disney World, like their last really warm day where we could have gone to a water park. So I was really, really thankful that we chose this day. I mean, y'all, it was just pure blind luck that we went to a water park this day, because Typhoon Lagoon for the rest of the trip was closed because it just never reached the temperature it needed to be to open it. So this was our one and only day to do Typhoon Lagoon, and so I was thankful we did it. The decorations at night at Hollywood Studios are great. They have, big strands of garland over the I don't know, it kind of looks like Hollywood Boulevard Strip. And my family eventually met up with me. It was already getting dark, which is kind of cool. You know how it gets dark early in the winter. So it was already kind of dark, and the kids had finally woken up for their nap, and I think we had Fast Pass for Toy Story Mania. Now, when it came to getting Fast Passes, I don't know if you recall, but I broke one of my rules, and I did not mark my Fast Pass date in advance, and I missed my first day, or maybe my first day or two of getting Fast Passes. So by the time I'd booked for this particular evening at Hollywood Studios, all the Slinky Dog Dash roller coaster Fast Passes were already taken, and that's the one I really wanted to get. However, I knew that if we still wanted to ride Slinky Dog, we could wait to the end of the night and we would probably be okay. So we ended up getting Toy Story Mania Fast Pass, which worked out fine, because Toy Story Mania, all the kids can go on it, even my son. It wasn't very fun for me. Well, no, it was fun. It was fun for me, but you sit two in a row, or if you have a baby, you could sit like three in a row, or he could sit on your lap. So, but usually you can only do like two. So he sat with me, and he didn't have the best experience. My 2-year-old, he doesn't quite get 3D glasses just yet. I think he managed to keep them on this time, but shooting the little gun, the 3D gun thing, he didn't really get, and he didn't like me helping. He was kind of cranky. Had he been with his daddy, my husband, he would have been fine, and he probably would have loved it, and it would have been a magical experience for him. But for me, it wasn't as great because he didn't want me to help him. He didn't want me to touch him. He wanted to be with daddy, and he didn't want to even try. So I pretty much just played by myself. Every once in a while, I reached over and tried to help him out, in which he just screamed. So whatever, that was over. It was fun. All the other kids love Toy Story Mania, and I do too. It's really fun. It's like a video, you're in a video game, and it's super fun. And if you're competitive like my husband and I are, we love to kind of compete against each other. It's such a great ride. It's neat. So after that, we stopped at Woody's Lunchbox to get some dinner, and I think we had tried Woody's Lunchbox once. We had tried a few different they have like I don't know what they call it there, like a pastry, a toast. It's pretty much a homemade Pop-Tart. And I don't remember being that impressed. But we had never tried anything else. So this time we tried the I think it was the 4-cheese, the grilled cheese sandwich with a cup of tomato soup. And it was fantastic. It was amazing. It came with the grilled cheese sandwich and just a little cup of soup on the side of tomato soup. It tasted exactly how you wanted it to taste. You could just dip your little sandwich in. The pieces, the sandwich halves were big, so it was easily shareable. We also got a kids meal of grilled cheese and tater tots and a little cutie orange for the kids. Now, the kids' meal grilled cheese only comes with like half of one of these big grilled cheese sandwiches, but it was fine. We also got one of the little toaster pastry thing. The lunchbox tarts, whatever. I think that we got the one that's like stuffed with hazelnut, aka Nutella, maybe with bacon on top. I don't know what we got, but it was good. It really was good. We also tried something they offer there, the grown-up lemonade. So, think of lemonade like a berry lemonade, and then throw some, I don't know, vodka in it, and there you go. And I'm not a drinker, but I do like to try drinks. And I tell you what, this was so good. It's one of those that was, this drink in college for me would have been dangerous. This was a dangerous drink, but because it tasted so good, and you couldn't really, you can't really taste the alcohol, but it was good. It wasn't too overly sweet. It was sweet, but it wasn't like overly sweet where it was bad because the sourness of the lemonade kind of balanced it out. But it was really good. I'm not saying I drink a whole one, but I might drink a whole one. So that was really good. And if you don't know about this already, go ahead and mobile order there and save yourself 20 minutes of a line. You can mobile order and pick your food up. It's awesome. Do it. And we will do this a lot of times. We'll look at the line, and then we'll just go straight to the app, and we will mobile order, and then we'll still beat people that were already in line. So it's not like we mobile order so far in advance. No, we mobile order right when we get there, and then it's still ready. It's almost like you're at the front of the line ordering your food when you're on the mobile order. I didn't this time because the line really wasn't that long. I was kind of undecided. I kind of wanted to look at it more. Like I wanted to look at the actual food coming out before I made my final decision. But it was fine. A lot of the people were asking me about that grown-up lemonade too, by the way. Like they were like, what is that? I was like, it is grown-up lemonade and it is fantastic and you need one in your life. And that's a cool thing, I guess, about Hollywood Studios. You could call it cool or you could call it a con, but you can drink a drink there. You can drink the good stuff. You can drink the light stuff. But there is beer and wine and drinks if you want it. The next thing we had planned was reserved seating for Fantasmic because we had fast passes for Fantasmic. There's very limited options these days on what we can use our fast passes for. So us and everybody else in the park, literally everyone else in the park, chose to get a fast pass for Fantasmic. If you don't get in line for Fantasmic, even with a fast pass well in advance, your seating will not be ideal, and it is a cluster when you get in there. We had never done this before. We never even been in this amphitheater before. But once you get through, once they let people in and you park your stroller, I mean, you are stuck in this line. The line starts there, and you just go with the crowd, and they seat you wherever you can. Now, we were getting, even though we had a fast pass, we were among the last group that was actually seated. I guess we should have gotten there earlier. I didn't mind it because they were filling in like the last section, like all the other sections were filled. So it's a huge amphitheater. I mean, it's huge. So all the good middle section was gone, and now they were filling all the seats towards the remainder, like, I don't know, the last, I'm going to say fourth to the left. And we really wanted good seats so bad. And I noticed up front, they weren't filling in the very front row. Like, there was a row of benches, and then there was all the bleachers behind those benches. And I was like, I talked to a cast member who was telling us to go sit, like, kind of up towards the top in this last section. I was like, hey, can we go sit at the bottom? And then one of those bottom benches, and the bottom bench is a front row seat. Like, it's front row to the lagoon. Now, we weren't in the middle. I knew that. So we weren't going to have a view straight on of the entire show character. It's going to be kind of from the side, but it's fine. I knew some of it was water. Like, I had heard that some of it was in a boat, so we would maybe see the boats go through. And they were like, yeah, but you make it wet if you sit there. So we learned that the reason why these bench seats aren't usually as filled up or as quickly filled is because you will get wet. And you will get wet. This is basically a water attraction if you're in the front row. This did not deter us. We brought our ponchos, I believe. No, I don't know if we brought our ponchos. I don't know what we brought, but we had jackets on. We at least had jackets on, and my kids, they think it's hilarious to get wet. So we didn't exactly know how wet we were going to get until the show started, but every time we did get wet, there's like these big screen misty water. It's not like rain wet. It's like a fine mist ends up drenching you more than you think. Like, you are being slowly but surely drenched by a fine mist. But my kids cracked up at this. And keep in mind, it's kind of getting chilly at night. But they thought it was so funny. And every once in a while there would be kind of a splash, and it would splash you, kind of like Splash Mountain Splash, like a big splash, like randomly. Most of the time it's water screen mist, but the other times there was a random big splash. And anytime that big splash got us, my son just cracked up. He thought it was awesome. He thought it was hilarious. And y'all, Fantasmic, the show, I've heard great things about it in the past. I've heard that the one in Disneyland is amazing and the one here can't compete. But as a first timer, this show was so amazing. You get to see all of your favorite characters, and it does get a little intense. It can be kind of scary. My girls kind of snuggled up to me because part of it is kind of a scary dream phase and all the villains, and it's dark and scary music. That Fantasmic music with the Chernobyl. What did they call that thing? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, if you're ever watching that Fantasia, that scary one with the devil guy. He's called a Chernobyl, not Chernobyl. That can't be it. Chernogog. I don't know what he's called, but he's like a devil, crazy, creepy guy. So anyway, they flash a lot of scenes from your favorite movies, even the scary scenes. So a lot of it's a heavy screen-based show, but the screens are water. And it's just neat. And they have beautiful music. But I mean, like your favorite characters and princesses will go by on a float. And since we were front row, even though we were wet, um, but we, like I said, I think we had prepared. We had, we were covered with jackets and stuff. We got to see close up of the favorite characters. I mean, we're talking, you know, Beauty and the Beast and Ariel, and it was just so great. It was a great show. Now, I would bring a snack if you're there. You do have the option of going up to the concession stand and getting, I think, popcorn or drinks and stuff like that. But it was just so packed, it'd be really hard to do that. And after it's over, it's like everyone races to get out of there. And you're stuck in a line. I mean, you're just stuck in a line. So if you're really claustrophobic and you're not in a rush, I would just wait about 15 minutes before even attempting to leave. So bring a snack and just hang on tight and just wait for some of the crowd to go down. Because I mean, even we did it. We waited, I don't know, about 10 minutes for the crowd to go, 5-10 minutes, and we still were in the thick of the crowds, but it did go pretty fast. But I mean, I mean, we had to grab onto each other because it's a huge line of people to go out. So next we entered a phase of a little bit of family decision-making time. We no longer had any more fast passes. I'm pretty sure we had one for Star Tours, or maybe we had one for the Frozen sing-along, but we just didn't get there in time. I think it was one that they missed, my family missed because they were sleeping, and I didn't really care about going. So we were out of fast passes. My older daughter really wanted to ride the Hollywood Tower of Terror. The Tower of Terror. And I really wanted to go watch Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. That is one of the Christmassy shows there. And my husband does not ever want to go on Tower of Terror. He is pretty much against those drop rides. So we had like a lot of debate going on. Like, what do we do? Because if I'm going to see Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, I need to go now because that thing is starting in 10 minutes. And so I needed to make that decision really, really quick. And I did not want to go on Tower of Terror and miss the show. I would have gone on Tower of Terror. I'm okay with it if I take Dramamine especially, but I really wanted to make the show. But if we were going to do it, the only time to do it would have been now because we really didn't have a lot of time after Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam because we wanted to get in line for Slinky Dog before the park closes. So we were running about 45 minutes before park closes, maybe 30 minutes before park close. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam's going on. After Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, we only had, I think we would only have like 10 minutes to get in line for Slinky Dog before they close the line. So we knew we had to create a plan. So what we decided on was that my husband and my daughter, my 6-year-old, and my son, they would wait and kind of watch the projection show or wait down at the bottom of Tower of Terror in the gift shop for my daughter. And my 8-year-old daughter was brave enough and big enough to go by herself on Tower of Terror. So we dropped her off in the line. He dropped her off in the line, and then I think he ended up just going down in the waiting area, the gift shop area. So that was a big first for us, or big first for her. Went on a ride by herself. I know she was nervous but excited, and I'm glad I missed it though because I really enjoyed seeing Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. There was already a crowd of people there, but I was able to kind of work my way in as just a one-person, party. I got a great spot, got a great view. Despite people being all around me that had probably been there, staked out their seats for 20-30 minutes, I was able to kind of get right in, and it was such a cute show. And I'm trying, keep in mind, I'm trying to do everything Christmassy. I'm really wanting to maximize what I'm seeing Christmassy wise, because I can do all these other rides and things like that anytime I go to Disney World. So I really want to maximize that. Now, something that's going on throughout the night is on the Tower of Terror, they have a projection show that is continuously in a loop, and it is really cute and funny. So you can watch the projections on the Tower of Terror. Plus, if you get back far enough, you can see some screens that go along with the projections. Like they're little stories, like little mini many, meaning small, cartoons and different characters. And it's just kind of fun to kind of hang out just there in front of the Tower of Terror and watch all of that. It's very Christmassy. So I met back up with my whole family, watched a little bit of that projection show, and we hightailed it as fast as we could to Toy Story Land before they shut down the entrance to the rides. And now my son is not big enough to go on Slinky Dog, but I knew we could parent swap, and they're not going to tell us no, we can't parent swap, even if it's at the end of the night. So we did get in line. Now, it said it was going to be about a 40-minute wait in Slinky Dog. I do not think we waited. We probably waited 25 minutes, maybe. You know what? We could have waited 30. I really don't know, because we had a blast waiting in line, me and the two girls. We were playing that Disney Parks app. We got the Disney Parks app, and we were playing what's it called? Disney Play. Let's see. Play Disney. The Play Disney app, okay? And it's for Disney Parks. So get the Play Disney app, and we were able, when you're at certain locations, certain rides have a game attached to it. Not all rides, but you kind of have to, I think you kind of have to be in that area to play that specific game. So Slinky Dog had a game you could play on your phone, and I made sure that I had enough charge on my phone to play, because it does kind of drain your battery. And you put in all your players. So I had 3 players. Sometimes you can have 1 player, sometimes just 2 players. So I had my 3 players. I put their names in. And then every time it was one of our turns, it said, okay, hand the phone to Mom, hand the phone to Martha, hand the phone to Vivian. And sometimes there were 2-player games you played at one time, where I held one end of my phone and the other kid held the other end. And we both had little buttons on the screen to push to help, play a game that way. But it was so much fun. There were like different little video games and arcade games and puzzle games and speed games and pinball. I mean, it was just so cool. And we had a blast. Like, my kids didn't even want to stop playing the game. Like, they wanted to play the game longer. We ended up, by the time we got up to Slinky Dog to ride the coaster, it didn't feel like we waited at all. It felt like the time flew by. So I, definitely get Disney Parks, the Disney Play app. You'll love it, and it's good. Again, it's kind of good quality family time too. So you're not wasting time. You're creating fun in a line. So we were able to get on Slinky Dog, and Slinky Dog is such a good coaster. It is underrated, I think. I mean, although I know it always has a huge line and it's hard to get fast passes to, I really don't think people understand it. My fancy sister Rachel didn't even try to get a fast pass for Slinky Dog coaster, because she just assumed it was kind of too kiddie, like that whole land. She didn't even go to Toy Story Land at all. She just thought the whole area would probably not be as exciting for her when she went in October. I mean, I judged her hard. I mean, obviously I judged her very hard, openly. Open judgment for her missing out on Slinky Dog, because she would have loved it. It's not the most thrilling coaster in terms of upside down loop-de-loops, but it'll make your stomach jump. Like, it is a solid, smooth, fun coaster. Now, my son is not quite big enough, but he's going to love it one day too. So luckily with Parent Swap, they were able to swap us out real quick, and my kids, the older 2, got to ride again, and my husband rode. And by that point, it was time to leave Hollywood Studios, because it was closing down. And we have the big double stroller. It's kind of chilly. It's just beautiful to walk back, especially, since we're just going to the boardwalk. It's a beautiful stroll. So as we're strolling, this was a perfect time for a meltdown for my 6-year-old, bless her heart. And this stuff just happens. We expect it. It's our daily life with kids. And just keep in mind, your kids aren't going to stop misbehaving when you're on vacation. And so while this could have been a very enjoyable stroll, we had some disciplinary issues. I mean, here's some recording. Listen to this stuff. Stop! Sit down and you're in timeout. Sit down. You're in timeout, so you act right. Sit in timeout. So, things don't always go so smooth. I don't know if y'all could hear any of that, but I um, I'm a mean mom, okay? I want my kids to hear how they act so that I could show it to them later, and so they can see what it's like when they're acting bad, so they know what sort of behavior to correct. So I did record a little bit of my daughter having a bit of a meltdown. She did eventually go to timeout, and it was fine, but it was on the way between Hollywood Studios and the boardwalk. Now, we had already eaten a light dinner because I'd only ordered that one grilled cheese sandwich for me and my husband with a little tiny cup of soup to go with it. None of us had a full meal. That it may seem like it, but I mean, there's 5 of us, and we only ordered one. We only ordered one adult meal and then one kid's meal. So none of us were full, and we hadn't had any snacks. So guess what? It is the boardwalk. And what do they have at the boardwalk? They have eateries that are open late. I found out this was the day, y'all. This was the day that things changed about what I knew. The Boardwalk Pizzeria stayed open till like midnight. And this is just so exciting because after long days at the park, or okay, even after like just a few hours at the park, I'm always hungry. And plus we're on vacation, so I want to eat more than normal, and I want to gorge myself. So just knowing that, it was already 10 and I was thinking everything's going to be closed. I was really kind of bummed out. But then to know that this place not only wasn't about to close, but I mean, we still had over an hour before it closed. I was so excited. So the pizza window at the boardwalk, it has personal and large pizzas. It has a meatball sub, an Italian hoagie sandwich, assorted salads, cannoli, beer and wine, open from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Yes. They also had caprese salad, by the way. I just wanted to put that in. Anyway, so I think we ended up getting, I think I got the meatball sub, and it was good. My husband got the Italian sub. It was good. And I think the kids got a cheese pizza. Or maybe they didn't. I can't remember what we gave them. We may not have gotten anything for them. They may have had candy for second dinner. I don't know. But all I know is that our sandwiches were good. Also, inside there, kind of close by it, the Abracadabra bar. And that is a bar that's attached to the restaurant Trattoria Al Forno. And it stays open till 9:30. And it was still open when we were there. So even if you get done with the park at 9, you still have 30 minutes to have some bar snacks. And there they have a tomato and fresh mozzarella salad, Abra fries, that's like Parmesan cheese, truffle oil sort of fries. They have calamari, margarita flatbread, seasonal flatbread, charcuterie plate. So you do have some options just right there in that area. I love the pizza place because they gave me like a little... they gave me a little buzzer when the pizza or when our order was ready, and I just love not having to get a pizza because I'm okay with pizza. Like I can eat it when I'm hungry, but I don't prefer pizza. It's just not my favorite. But I love sandwiches, like meatball sandwiches. Like I love Italian sandwiches, and so it was just really cool being able to have a different option than just pizza at the pizza window. So that was really cool, and it was a great ending to our evening. And so we spent the remainder hour eating, bathing, watching those new Mickey Mouse cartoons that play continuously on the resort channels. Or I don't know if they do play continuously, but it seems like every time we turn it on, they're on a continuous loop, and we love them. Give it a shot, guys. If you haven't been watching the new animated Disney cartoon shorts, you need to watch them and give it a chance. Yes, the animation is different and the characters act a little different. Maybe even more reminiscent of Ren and Stimpy types. But y'all, they're really funny and they're really cute, and it gives some personality back to the main characters, which is great because Donald is Donald again. Like he gets irritated, and Mickey makes mistakes, and Goofy is Goofy, and he is hilarious. So to me, it was just, it kind of sensationalized these little character flaws they had to begin with and just like maximized it. But these little cartoons are so cute and they're fun to watch. You'll get the adult content of it, and the kids will love it because it's cute. So be sure to watch those new Mickey cartoons, those shorts. Plus, you need to get prepped because if you're going to go to Disney World in 2020, you need to get ready for the new ride that will be opening at Hollywood Studios. It's Mickey's Runaway Railroad or something like that. And it's all the new style. So go ahead and get familiar with the new style of animation that they use for these Disney cartoon shorts and give it a shot, y'all. They're funny. They really are good. The very next day was our Animal Kingdom day. And I did not plan for us to rope drop. I had our fast passes scheduled for a little bit later in the afternoon just because I know my family, we just don't really like to wake up super, super early, even though that's really one of the best strategies to maximize all the rides if you don't have fast passes. But since, this trip I just felt was a little bit more relaxed than our normal trip because it was kind of our bonus trip. So we just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't stress out so much. So I had a few things planned. We got there, I can't remember exactly which time we got there, but it wasn't early, but it wasn't like late in the afternoon. It was close to like 10 or so. And the first thing we did, we just took it easy and we went to the dinosaur dig pit area where they have a playground. It's a huge, amazing playground. I think I may have even posted a video on the Facebook page, the Roadtrip WDW Facebook page. It's just a super great playground. Now, it was pretty crowded. It was still, at this point, we're still recovering from all the Thanksgiving rush. This was, Monday, right after Thanksgiving. So there were still tons of people there. But there's tons of little slides and activity areas. And I love there's only one entrance and one exit to this dinosaur area in Dinoland. On one section, you kind of go across this huge walkway and you go upstairs and then you go downstairs. And it's a huge dinosaur dig pit area. It's all covered. And so you can, your kids essentially just digging some dirt and sand and it's pebbles, okay? So it's not really going to get you dirty. You'll just be pebbles and you can easily clean those off. So they'll be all pebbly, but they uncover bones and it's all covered so you can just sit and relax. If you want to play on your phone for a little bit while your kids play in the pebbles right in front of you, this is a great spot to go. The kids love it and you get a break, mom and dad, just to sit. We really didn't need a break since we had just arrived, but it was cool. It gave me a chance to do a little bit of a live video there. So we explored Dinoland a little bit. We went on, oh my gosh, that Dumbo dinosaur ride. I think it's Triceratops Spin. We're just trying to find things for my son to do. I think I'd also went and got a tiger tail. Those are pastries that are stuffed with chocolate, and they're really good. They're not served warm, but it doesn't matter. They still taste good and fresh. It kind of is reminiscent of the Cheshire Cat Tail, if you're familiar with that pastry that is found at Magic Kingdom. But this one's really good. I don't know which one I like better. The crust on this one isn't warm, and it may not be as flaky, but it's still like a good, solid, delicious pastry. I think I may like this one better. So we got in line to meet Scrooge McDuck, and while that may not seem like a big deal, for me it was, because Scrooge McDuck, and plus it's like around Christmas time, and when I think of Christmas time and Disney, I always think of Mickey's Christmas Carol, where Uncle Scrooge is Mr. Scrooge McDuck, and so there he is in his Mr. Scrooge attire, and I was able to get pictures of him. I got with the kids, and then I kicked everyone out of the picture and got a picture myself. So at this point, it was time for lunch already, and a place I really wanted to try out that I've never tried out was Yak and Yeti. Now, this place, every time I've been by, has a huge line, and they do have a quick service version of some Yak and Yeti dishes that is off to the side, which we ate at in the summer and we really liked, but I really wanted to eat at Yak and Yeti. And I was able to use my Landry Select card. I remembered to bring it. Thankfully, I remembered to bring it in. Now, if you've already subscribed to a Landry Restaurant Select member card, now Landry Select, if you do Rainforest Cafe, T-Rex, or some of the, what is the other Landry stuff around here? Saltgrass Steakhouse. Anyway, Landry's restaurant chain group owns a ton of different restaurants. So go ahead and get that card. It's totally worth it. You do have to pay for it, but you get that credit immediately back. And then you also get like $25 birthday credit every single year. So you do pay $25, but then they give you food credit. So anyway, with that card, I was able to go right up to the front, say I have a party of 5, and I was put to the front of the waiting list to eat at Yak and Yeti. So all these other people were maybe waiting 30, 45 minutes, and we waited about 10 minutes to go eat. And so y'all, we felt so fancy doing that because, everyone there, even if you wanted to sign up for Landry Select right there, that would have taken time. And I think we were the only people doing it, which was crazy to me. Luckily, I found out that once we had turned in the Landry's Club, the card, I found out I actually had a $25 credit on there I hadn't used. So that was really cool that I was able to use that. Now, let me tell you about Yak and Yeti. It is a sit-down restaurant. You have a waitress. It's in the middle of a theme park, but again, we've never done it, and I want to do it. Let me tell you about some of the stuff they have. So I'm just going to go through the menu. And so, yes, there's going to be some very Asian, Indian sort of influences. There's also just some really good regular food. So, for instance, small plates. They have pot stickers, wok fried green beans, pork egg rolls, firecracker shrimp. I'm assuming that's like bang bang shrimp. Ahi tuna nachos. These are widely known as one of the best things to get if you're an ahi tuna fan. I hear they're amazing. The lettuce cups, that's like minced chicken breasts, chopped vegetables, and some sauce. They have a dim sum basket, pork pot stickers, chicken. They have a bunch of stuff in there. Korean fried chicken. They have soups and salad. They have a wonton soup. They have a house salad with Asian dressing. They have a seared tuna salad. They have an Asian wedge salad. They have noodles in bowls. They have lo mein, vegetable lo mein, pork belly ramen, lobster garlic noodles, roasted vegetable bowl. They have the specialties there: miso salmon, chicken tikka masala, which is what I got, the coconut shrimp, bhaktapur duck, Thai crab cakes, honey chicken, sweet and sour chicken. These are all from the wok. Korean beef. They have some grilled stuff like barbecue ribs, Kobe beef burger, chef's fresh catch, soy herb glazed ribeye, teriyaki chicken, like a vegan burger. The sides are house fried rice, chicken fried rice, steamed rice, sauteed baby bok choy, garlic noodles, coconut shrimp, and they have a variety of different desserts. They have a bunch of specialty drinks, like fancy ones. This is one, speaking of fancy drinks, this is one, I sent a picture of the fancy drinks to my fancy sister, and I was like, man, you kind of missed out on some of these. The rarest and finest. They have a Yak and Yeti's Woodford Reserve Bourbon, Personal Selection, Apricot Brandy, and Crisp Apple Real Infused Syrup, topped with Fever Tree Ginger Beer. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, that sounds like some form of Moscow Mule to me. But we had chicken fried rice, or we had some fried rice that was good. My chicken tikka masala was really good. My husband liked the ahi tuna nachos. We had a very good experience here altogether. Now, just like with any other place in Disney World, the entrees aren't going to be cheap. Like my chicken tikka masala was $25 in itself. If I had the crab cakes, they would have been $30. If I would have gone for a small plate, just a pot stickers, that would have been $10.29. The firecracker shrimp would have been $13. The ahi tuna nachos were about $18. If you wanted like a seared tuna salad, that would be about $19. A noodle bowl is going to range around $20. So, I mean, it's not like it's going to be cheap at all, but I mean, we share so much stuff, so it was fine. And we, with the side of my kids, they just loved fried rice with soy sauce, so they just wanted to eat the rice with soy sauce, and they loved it. It was really good. Right outside of Yak and Yeti, there was this little bitty pavilion, and it was part of the Wilderness Explorers interactive scavenger hunt sort of thing that they have at Animal Kingdom. Now, this is free, and you go to different areas of the park and you kind of play along. You're supposed to kind of have a fun but educational activity all over the park, for you and the family. You can pretty much start at different places. You can pick up a handbook at the Wilderness Explorers headquarters located near the bridge from Oasis to Discovery Island. And if not, you can get these little booklets. They're like little activity booklets all over the place, like Africa, Asia, Dinoland. And you just go throughout the park, and you earn badges as you go. So it's like a scavenger hunt. So this is something that's really kind of cute for kids to do. That's not a ride. That gives them an opportunity to learn more about these different cultures that you're seeing, and it's a fun event thing for the whole family. So for us, it's attractions. This is essentially an attraction that has, no wait. Less people are doing these things, but they're so cool. So the one that we went to, the Indian version of this, so they taught the kids a little bit about, I think, some yoga and how to say namaste and how to greet people. And it was just really cute. Just learned a little bit about that culture. And then they got this like badge and some stickers. And, for my kids, that was just, they had a blast doing that. Anytime you get stickers and get to look at stuff, that's really cool. So you can earn different badges. You can earn a botany badge, music badge, telescope, insect, safari, dinosaur, forestry, animal call badges. You can earn all these badges. You can, some of the ways you can earn badges are to learn about the legend of the Yeti, spell your name in Hindi. That's what my kids did. They got their names spelled. I don't want to say spelled in Indian, but spelled in Hindi. You could explore dinosaur fossils to earn your badge. You can learn to code on an HAM radio. You could play an African drum pattern. You could hike trails and study animal behavior. And this is so cool. You get to learn about cultures. I mean, and you don't have to use your phone. It's fun. It's great. And actually, I wish I would have known about it sooner. I probably would have done more of this. But we had other things planned, so I think this may have been our only Wilderness Explorer stop. But now that I know it's there, I know that my kids think this is cool and they think it's fun. So that is something I'm going to be adding in as something different. Again, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt, and my kids do like scavenger hunts. Walking around Animal Kingdom at Christmas time, they have these little, I don't know what to call them, a group of critters, like snowy critters that have animal handlers. They're mainly like puppets, like big, huge puppets, but they're all white, so they're all kind of like snow critters. And they're really neat looking. Like, they don't look, there is one of like a little baby seal, and he's so happy and he's soft, and you can pet him and someone's just holding him, but it's a really good puppet where they're just holding him in your hands, and his facial expressions light up, and he blinks, and he wants you to pet him, and he swims while someone's holding him. And they have these beautiful snowy reindeer that kind of look like wooden, and they clomp along. It's just, I can't even describe it. I'm just gonna have to post some video of it. It's just really cool to see. So they have those things at Christmas time walking around. So we saw those, or at least I saw them. I don't think my kids did. Next, for some reason, we wanted to ride the god-awful Primeval Whirl, which is a version of one of those Crazy Mouse rides, if you've ever been in like Myrtle Beach or something like that. So it's a Crazy Mouse ride. It does not get good reviews from a lot of people. However, my kids adore this ride, and this was the first time my youngest daughter was able to ride it. She's been disappointed for a year that she couldn't ride it, but so she was finally big enough to ride it, and she was so excited to ride Primeval Whirl. I don't care for this one. You spin a lot, but I was prepped. I took my Dramamine like a good girl. Next, we rode the safari. It was getting close to sunset, so we saw a lot of animals. And right after that, I guess I should say with the safari, a lot of people love it, okay? A lot of people love the safari. It is, and if you have kids that love animals, the safari is great. It is great, and it's beautiful, and you get to see animals kind of look like they're in their natural habitat. They're not enclosed in teeny tiny cages. Disney does it right. Like, Disney does keeping animals in captivity the right way at this park, at least. but me, I don't know. It's just not my thing. To me, it's like a zoo. I can just go to the zoo and see these animals. So it's not like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, there's an antelope. Oh my gosh, there's a zebra. Oh my gosh, there's the giraffe. Because it's like, it's not novelty to me. Like I've seen these things. And my kids do like seeing it, but it's kind of a long ride. Even if you have a fast pass like us, you still have to wait. Like, to me, it's like a 20-minute wait. Even if you have a fast pass, 20-minute wait. Stroller parking's a little confusing for this ride, and when the ride itself is about 20 minutes. So I mean, it's a big time commitment regardless. Right after that though, we walked out and they were doing some African style dancing, and they just have the most amazing troupe of African dancers. I mean, the things that they were doing, the flips and climbing up on each other and doing like really daring stunts with such ease was amazing. They had a little bit of audience participation too. At this point, we I walked back over to Dino Land to take a few pictures because I wanted to see what it would look like at night, because Dino Land, it has been known to be the most decorated this season because they have added all these new decorations at Animal Kingdom. And Dino Land, it's definitely got a lot of the traditional decor, and it is cute. It's really lit up. The Tree of Life there in the middle of Animal Kingdom is kind of as a projection show in itself, so it's really fun to watch. Before we went to I think before we went to eat, we had a fast pass to Navi River journey. I did not get a fast pass to Flight of Passage. Same situation as I mentioned before about the Slinky Dog coaster. I didn't get my fast pass in time, which was fine. It really did work out. I did stress out about it, y'all. I stressed out because I know better, but it really worked out for the best because we all got to go on Navi River journey, and a lot of people bash this ride as being kind of boring. It's slow and it's too short. I think it's a beautiful ride, and I'm fine with it, and I think it's really neat, and I like it. So when I go again, my fast pass for Animal Kingdom is probably going to be Navi River because I just think it's so neat, and they have a really cool animatronic at the very end. It's really cool to look at. So right after that, we're in Pandora. Now, Pandora, the Christmas theme in Pandora, they have decorated, they have a big, like a armored suit guy, and he's decorated. Again, I'll probably just have to post some pictures. You'll just have to see it to believe it. It's really not a lot, but it's kind of fun that they tried to decorate in Pandora for Christmas, even though Pandora's supposed to be, completely other planet, but it was funny. We went over to Satuli Canteen, which is one of our favorite fast food places to eat, or quick service, in Disney World. It has really unique options, but eatable options. So when I say unique, I don't mean it's all caviar and fish, but they do have, just out of the selections there, are just so good. So we got a combination chicken and beef bowl, like over top to over a bed of potatoes, like a hash, like a sweet potato, regular potatoes, has some sort of like slaw on top, and we ordered it with the creamy garlic sauce on top, and it's so good. I mean, the flavors in this thing was just so amazing. We also got a burger pod. The kids got some burger pods with some homemade chips that they make in-house, which is really good. We love Satuli Canteen. So at this point, y'all, it's the end of the night. The park is about to close in about 10 minutes, and we have at this point, the wait time for Flight of Passage was about, I don't know, it was over an hour. And I really didn't want to wait. Even though I was going to let my husband and daughter go first, I could have waited for the parent swap. I really didn't feel like it. I mean, I think the wait time may have been over 90 minutes. It may have been 2-hour wait. But this was the only time we planned to go to Animal Kingdom, and none of us had seen any part of the line, and the line has a lot of not decorations. There's a lot more to see in the regular line that we've never seen because we always have a fast pass. And so I equipped my husband with the extra battery pack and his phone, and I said, y'all play, Disney, the Play Disney app until it's y'all's turn, and I'll just meet you back at the hotel, because I will have the stroller, I'll have the baby, I'll load up in the car, y'all just take Disney transportation, back to the hotel. And that really worked out great, because I was able to see a little bit of the Tree of Life with the holiday themed stuff. I was able to take the baby back. He was ready. I'm fine missing out on Flight of Passage. It is a great ride, and it's probably one of my favorite rides in Animal Kingdom, but it does make me a little motion sick, or it could make me a little motion sick at times. I mean, it's just not, I just rode it, seems like a few months ago, so I was okay kind of taking one for the team, for the family, to make sure everyone was having a good time, because I really don't like it when my little boy really doesn't have much to do. And Animal Kingdom at that time of night, everything was shut down, because they hopped in the line for Flight of Passage, like with 1 minute to spare. Which is, again, I've told this before, this is a great time to hop in a line. If you hop in a line right before the line closes, none of the people with fast passes or, outstanding fast passes will be able to use them. There's no one else coming through with a fast pass. You're it. So the line is like a genuine line. No fast passes getting in your way, slowing the line down. So the line moves a ton quicker. So that 2-hour line was actually condensed, and they only had to wait about 40 minutes, which didn't seem like long, because, again, they played on the app, looked around, they had a great time. And they rode Disney transportation back. So I still beat them home, but really not by too much. So the kids, everyone was back at the hotel, by around 9ish, maybe a little bit later. And again, we're at Disney World, we're on vacation. It still feels like 8 o'clock our time. So I took the girls back down to the boardwalk, to the ice cream store and to the bakery to pick out a treat. And they picked out another ice cream treat from Ample Hills, an Ooey Gooey butter cake sundae with like cotton candy ice cream. I mean, just a bunch of junk on it. And after we all got some treats, headed back up to the room, they got ready for bed. And when everyone was snuggled in bed, close to 10:30ish, 10, I snuck off to the hot tub and had some adult time by myself, which was great. I stay up late. My husband doesn't. He goes to sleep immediately when he's presented with a bed. So, y'all, I do not feel bad. I don't feel bad sneaking away. I don't feel guilty. Nope. He goes to bed. I'm a night owl. Might as well go to the hot tub. And I enjoyed it by myself on the boardwalk. It's just a great way to end that day with treats and hot tub. Fantastic. Now, the next episode I'm going to do will be part 3 of my Christmas trip. And let me tell you, part 3, I'm going to tell you about the most expensive day I've ever done at Disney. I'm not fancy like Fancy Rachel, my fancy sister. But so I had to save money for this day. This was a big day. The next day I'm going to describe in the next episode talks about the most expensive day, because we had several different events in one day, including a party within a party. Gasp. We did it. This was our huge splurge day, the biggest splurge I've ever made in Disney World history for me. And I'll tell you all about it on our next episode. Before I leave this episode, y'all do me a favor, go to my Facebook page, leave me an iTunes review so that people can find me. They may not want to find me. It may be a bad idea. You know what? Now that I think about it, it may not be a great idea. But if you could leave a review, that would sure help all my relatives find me easier when they search for my random Disney World podcast. Follow me along on Facebook, WDW, Roadtrip WDW. We also have an Instagram that I don't really check as much, but my husband loves to do it. It's Roadtrip WDW Podcast. You can also, if you want to, you can email us. We do check email, and we love getting emails from people. And that's because we've only gotten like a few, but that's so fun. Like it warms my heart. It's like it's Christmas if we get an email. If we get any sort of feedback, y'all, it is like a joy in my heart. So you can email us if you want. I mean, hopefully good positive or constructive criticism. If you want to send some hate mail, don't. Come on, don't. But anyway, you can email me at roadtripwdw@gmail.com. All right, guys, that'll do it, road trippers. See you real soon.